guys, and welcome back to our podcast. This is episode number 2, and today we have everyone. First off, let's welcome and introduce Miss Mia and Miss Jekz. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
All right, how about we start with Mia. Tell us about yourself, Mia.
Hi. I go by Mia. I have she, her pronouns. I crochet and I ski and I cook a lot. As my hobbies, I'm very silly and lazy. My favorite game is The Last of Us. My favorite color is red. I like the winter and fall and cats. And lately I've been watching Smiling Friends. There we go.
Nice.
So efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, whose favorite show was Smiling Friends again?
Me.
Didn't someone?
And
Okay,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see them watching it together.
We do so many times, and occasionally Sleepy when he's here, and I'll rewatch it myself.
Yeah, once a month.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got any pet peeves?
Let me look at my list again. I don't like sliced ginger, and I hate big flying bugs. Oh wait, that's something that I don't dislike. That I dislike.
That is fine.
My pet peeve
Don't
is
dislike.
non-confrontational behavior.
Oh,
We stand reaching agreements.
Did you say what your favorite season was?
It was winter and fall.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just a little too high.
All right. Any comments, questions, concerns?
did we hear a favorite animal? Cats?
Yes, it was. Yes,
What
have
about
an
cats
exotic
do you
one?
love? Oh.
they're so self-sufficient, and I don't need to watch them every time they need to shit. And they're really cute.
Mm.
They've got so much personality, in my opinion. Sometimes dogs are a lot, which is why I prefer cats.
Understandable.
How do you feel about bunnies?
They're chill. Same reason as cats.
Yes.
Though I think she prefers rabbits.
No. This is unacceptable. I'm
Wait,
riding.
not
Chesh,
this
ask
again.
your-
Rock.
Listen, I can't go through this rabbit bunny bit again.
Very
Okay,
real, very true.
but boo, how do you feel about jackalopes?
About what?
A jackalope, an antlered rabbit. Oh, come
Those
on.
exist?
I think they're an animal
I mean, yeah.
They're
like-
Is
they're
it
like
just like a
Mothman.
mythological
Yes,
creature?
they're like chupacabra.
Yeah,
Oh my god, this looks
I love
AI
them.
generated.
No, I swear I saw one as a kid though.
it was conjured.
Jackalopes have been a thing since like forever.
If
is it real?
I walked into someone's
I love
house and
them.
I saw this, I would just be like, nope, that's not real. I would just
I bet
run.
now.
They
I
said
tried
that about
that.
the platypus.
So true.
Yeah.
Platypus freak me out because they sweat milk.
Jackalopes aren't
Oh.
real.
They
How have you
produce
guys heard
milk the way our ancestors produced milk. They don't have nipples, so it just comes out through special pores in the skin.
I hate that.
I heard that platypuses are
Wet
like
milk.
toxic or something.
They're venomous.
They're venomous.
they?
Or they have like spurs. The males do on the
Oh.
back of their back flippers. That if you get stabbed, it releases toxins.
Oh.
The more you know.
And they have
Mhm.
beaks, really filling in all corners of the animal kingdom here.
Mhm.
They're so cool.
Shout out platypuses. Platypi?
Speaking.
Platypodes.
Platypus.
Platypus.
All right. Well, thank you, Mia, for sharing about yourself. Now we have Jekz. Jekz, wanna tell us about yourself?
Hello. I am Jekz. Jekster. Really I go by any pronouns. My hobbies are obviously gaming and crafting. Lately adding a lot more reading. I just finished a book and halfway through last night. That was regret. 2 character traits. Maybe a little more optimistic than I should be. Always the glass is half full. And really patient. Favorite game of all time is Mass Effect. Some things I like. Favorite color silver. Seasons winter. And Aminals, foxes. That one should be given, I feel like. I always have ears. My favorite anime shows. Number 1 anime is Yu Yu Hakusho. Recently I've got into shows with my friend. So Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I absolutely love right now.
Long haul.
Oh man, yeah. Stuff I dislike. Being chased in horror games.
Mm.
And angry people. Pet peeves, shoes left in the middle of the floors.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's it.
You yell at people about that.
I do. My boyfriend used to do it all the time.
And
It's a
then you
hazard.
yelled at him enough.
He doesn't do it anymore.
You've disciplined him. Congratulations.
No,
Train him well.
you kick it so many times, when you come home, middle of the night, going to the bathroom, you kick the shoes. He finally did it.
You trip over a steel-toed boot one last time,
Yep.
throw it, and you just,
Yep.
Yeah, the taste of his own
Straight through
medicine.
the wall.
All right. Well, now that all, what is it, 8 of us? All 8 of
Wait,
us
no,
are
I have
here?
questions.
Oh, okay.
Where's
all right.
where's the question section?
Okay, comments, questions, and concern. You're so right.
Why is your favorite animal a fox?
I don't know.
You just
It used to be-
resonated with it?
Yeah, used to be wolves. I was a wolf person. And then foxes, just the way they scream and just sound is obnoxious,
Oh.
and I love it too.
Foxes are technically cats, more aligned to cats than dogs. They're
Yeah.
feline. Isn't that crazy?
did
I
not
know.
that.
They're so cute. They look like cats, but they
I have so
act like
much
cats.
fox.
They look like dogs.
Exactly. Both of them. Best of both worlds.
People suggest that they're dog hardware running on cat software, and I feel
Oh,
like
no.
that's valid. Do you have a favorite fox color? They come in so many colors.
Well, so silver, but it's actually a black.
Mm.
So if you look up the silver fox from Russia's, they're so pretty.
Mhm.
On it
Looking it up
right
as
now.
we speak.
How do
I
you
literally
feel?
googled silver fox from Russia.
Oh yeah, 'cause I follow a lady on TikTok who has like a wildlife sanctuary for these guys. She has like 10, I think, and they
Dang.
have an old man who's a silver black fox.
Oh
Old
boy.
man silver fox
He's-
sounds so good.
Yeah, he always wants to be solitary, so she'll usually just hang out one-on-one with him because all the other foxes are too energetic for him.
Such an edgy fox.
There's a fox domestication experiment happening,
Yes.
I
and
read
it's
about
going
that.
very well. And they get floppy ears and like patchy colors because
Oh.
apparently, whenever you domesticate any animal, they for some reason they develop, along with like less aggression and more social behavior towards humans, they develop floppier ears and floppier tails and patchier coloration. Isn't that crazy?
So are cats
Isn't it
not
all-
domesticated since they have sharp ears? Or the majority at
I
least.
know they're less
But they have the
domesticated.
coloration.
I see.
Mm.
On the
Isn't that
topic,
how like dogs came about initially? Was the domestication of wolves?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, same thing. But cats are less domesticated, because they have like so many thousand years, right? Whereas dogs have been with us for like tens of thousands of years.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die before we get like widespread domesticated foxes.
Probably.
I know.
So
I-
sad.
Looked into it. That's probably good 15 years. Obviously, I was younger, and hey, yeah, I want one. And you can in my state. They're, obviously the exotic animal basis, but you actually can get one.
on the topic of domesticating exotic animals, I feel like we should domesticate raccoons.
Raccoons.
I know that's allowed in some states.
I got the
Becca got it.
absolute
Pets.
Jesus scared out of me by a raccoon when I went on vacation. Like me and my friend had gotten to, I believe it was Canada, and we were at an Airbnb. It was the dead of the night because we drove up and we got there at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and we're at this Airbnb. We don't know where anything is. We're a little bit scared because we'd heard stories about it not being the safest in some areas. We got out of our car and we were unpacking the car, and we hear like some rustling behind us, and literally not 2 feet away from us, a raccoon pops out of a garbage can and just like scuttles away, and we both screamed really, really loudly.
Wow.
Dude. He was just getting us dinner.
You
I
interrupted
was,
him.
yeah, I didn't even know that he was there. Like the lid was closed.
Is this
He had
the
like
one you
completely
fought?
shut himself in. A little bit. I happened to have a wok in my hand at the time, and so I was prepared to swing at it.
Oh no.
Oh.
Imagine leaving your house after having dinner and someone screams at you and hits you with a wok.
Listen, I didn't swing at him at all. I was just ready to swing. If he had like jumped at me or something like that, then I would have smacked him with the wok straight into the garage door.
Oh my gosh.
But
At least you
thankfully,
didn't have
he
to.
sauntered off into the night.
I'm quite sad that I've never seen a raccoon. No
Are there not
raccoons
any
in England.
raccoons over there?
Nope, none.
Damn.
Damn.
It's okay, Eve. I actually saw my first one, and I was across over in Oregon. Because in my state, we really don't have them.
Mm.
We were going from one of the coastlines at a park, and we're just driving up this hill to get up and over. And just as we get to the top, there's a family of 3 just walking across, stare at us, and like 2 turn off
Aw.
into the bushes, and the one like big one just turned towards us and just like he was ready to take on the car.
Very brave.
He was.
So I looked it up before we move on. I just looked it up because I was nosy. Apparently, raccoons are invasive in Europe because they were introduced in the 20th century. And apparently, the largest population is in Germany. So if you go over there and you find one, let us know.
Oh my god, I will.
Hmm.
I will.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
Group
you.
trip to Germany.
Woohoo!
Mhm.
Raccoon spotting.
All right. Well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves once again. So today I wanted to ask you guys some gamer questions, if that's all right with y'all.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, well,
Nah,
there
pass.
goes
Yeah,
the
what if
whole
we just said no?
podcast.
Canceled.
I think
All
this
right.
is just the raccoon episode.
Well,
Thanks
thanks
for
everybody for watching.
Bye. See you next time.
Comment down below what you think of raccoons.
Critter talk.
All right, and cut. No.
I actually want to know what people's favorite mythological creatures are now that we've talked about jackalopes. I know that they're not
is another
mythological now, but-
podcast. That is in
Absolutely.
the books. That is in the books. Trust and believe.
We'll give us some
Write
time
it down.
to research it because I do not know any. Oh, never mind. I got mine.
No. Okay.
You and I lied. You and I lied.
Creatures and Cryptids podcast incoming.
Watch out for that one. All
What's that
right.
pedal?
So yeah, since we're all gamers, I was like, we should discuss some topics, or I have some questions, and I don't actually think I know some of these answers from you guys, even though I've known you guys for a few years now. My first question, really simple. How did you find your username / gamer tag that clicked with you? I'll go first. As I said before, my name's Kimiko. I also go by Vibrant Kimiko. But Kimiko is kind of an embarrassing story. But Kimiko came from back in my day, when I was 13, I used to make AMVs and YouTube videos. But I also made these Naruto videos that were video form fan fiction. And I ended up self-inserting my character, which was supposed to be me. And I named her Kimiko instead of my real name. And I also had 2 friends that I inserted as well. But after that, Kimiko just kind of stuck with me. And then Vibrant Kimiko, I watched another podcast with Post Malone. And he was talking about how he got his name. And he got his name from a name generator. And I was like, well, I might as well do that too.
And you were like, I also want to be from a name generator.
I too. Because Kimiko's such a common gamer tag name. So I needed something extra. And yeah. And so I used the name generator, got Vibrant Kimiko, and I was like, yep, that's it. That's mine.
You were feeling especially bright that day.
Mm-hmm.
How many
And-
times did you click the reroll button?
3 or 4 times.
Oh, that's actually a pretty small number.
Well, it was a list of 20 at a time, so.
Oh,
Oh.
I see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was gonna be
no
one of
longer
those
a small number.
I thought it was gonna be one of those Apple Music playlists where you're just you just keep on mashing the random button and then you're like, oh my god, this my phone chose the perfect song for me after 60 clicks.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's how I got my gamer tag. Does anyone want to share first?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So mine, I'm on multiple platforms as Silver Bunny. And I actually got that gamer tag from a gift that my mother gave me. We went on some cruise. There was lots of gift buying and gift sharing for each other. And I don't know. My parents don't tend to give a lot of gifts that like mean a lot. But this time, during that particular time, she gave me this silver bunny paperweight. And that meant a lot to me, and I had to get a gamer tag change at the time anyways, because I was in college and I'd kind of outgrown my previous one. And so I just went with Silver Bunny.
Nice.
That's so cute.
I kind of want to ask what it was previously, but I won't.
I will not share that.
Yeah.
Not publicly.
Mhm.
You're like, those are my darkest days.
You're not even close enough to cringe with you, boo. What the heck?
We haven't hit that level of friendship.
I'm close enough to cringe with you guys, just not the rest of the internet.
Can't go
Not
on
yet,
Reddit.
especially with how many viewers we have now.
That's
We
fair.
want the other part of that story later.
The scary publicity thing.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Maybe one day.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to pop in?
So I feel like if I explain my current username, I have to explain the name it was before its current version,
Give us...
because it's the username that you guys met me with.
Mhm.
So my original username was Maydeu, and it's also a slightly embarrassing story about how I got it, came up with it, whatever. So back in like high school, I was really obsessed with the Three Kingdoms era of Chinese history and like Chinese media and stuff. So I just looked up female Chinese names and smashed some together, like a cringe high schooler. So that's how I got Maydeu. But recently I've changed it to Punchella, because I used a similar name generator to try and get a combo word, what's it called? A compound word for a cool username. And I really vibed with the one it gave me. So me and Post Malone actually have something in common.
Shout out Posty, dude.
What are the odds he appears in 2 different origin stories?
Dude.
What are the odds he appears in over half of them?
He will not be in mine. He will not be in mine.
The server and
As
Post
of right
Malone are
now,
like this.
he's 67%. If we stop the podcast right now, he's actually overtaken most of our podcast.
So we need to do a shout out to him on Twitter or something. We gotta
Oh
let
Oh my
him
god,
know.
yeah.
He would love that shit too.
It's actually not a bad
Especially when
idea.
we're
Let's get a
talking
clip
Pokemon.
of all of us saying thanks, Post Malone,
At
and then
the
tag
end?
him in Twitter.
Do you
Yeah.
think he'll actually tweet us back or like our
He
tweet?
might
I would love
talk about him in your Pokemon playthroughs. He loves watching Pokemon.
that.
Ooh.
He's a really
Ooh.
big
Good
Pokemon
tip.
fan.
And
Sounds
I
really
got
lovely.
accused of farming engagement last podcast.
No, you got complimented. You got praised for farming engagement, actually.
I can't wait for Post Malone to sponsor us.
We gotta name one of our Pokemon Post Malone now.
Oh my
Or one
god,
of
me
them-
and Post
one of us
Malone are the
names it
same
Post.
age. Wait, Post
True.
Malone's birthday is tomorrow. Not tomorrow, sorry, July 4th.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday! I
Happy
guess happy late
birthday.
birthday by the
You
time
guys-
this
We have
comes
to
out.
send him the
We have to
video
rush.
on the 4th.
We have to rush the production of this episode to have it out on his birthday.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna sing Happy Birthday, Post Malone, and we're gonna post it on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
Happy
know if I can do
birthday
that.
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday,
dear
Post
Post
Malone. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Guys, you are all at a different time frame.
Yeah.
I think that some of you guys have never sang happy birthday in your freaking lives.
Me.
It didn't help is the fact that everybody's on a different timetable, and so I'm trying to pick
Yeah.
who I'm gonna align myself with, and then I keep changing every other word.
It kind of sounds like when you tell each member of a choir to sing happy birthday, but they all have to have earplugs in.
Oh, I heard at
Real.
least like 2 or 3 people drop off in the second line. Skip to the third one.
It was so loud.
It's only 4 lines.
And we messed up all of them. So
I was
It's
using
good
Eve
enough.
as my marker. Eve was a fantastic marker. Thank you, Eve, for leading.
Thank you. I led the pack there. I really did. I really felt it.
Mhm.
What a leader.
We'll retake
The badger power.
later.
The European badger power.
All
Go.
right. Well, my
Real.
origin story is also Post Malone related.
God
my
damn
gosh.
it!
Oh my
Wait,
lord.
not
really?
that
No, 75%.
It is, however, related to another YouTuber, who I was watching a lot of content from. LD Shadow Lady plays a lot of Minecraft, and I took the Shadow part of my name from hers, and then the Sloth part is obviously because sloths are my favorite. And then the first part of my username was my initials, but now I just go by Shadow Sloth. I should probably go ahead and remove the other part from all my other platforms, but
Mhm.
everybody confuses it for saying real life, so I'll just roll with that's what
mean-
it means.
It will be
Okay, but
one
how's-
limit. That was me.
Wait, how is Post Malone involved in this one?
Oh, there's not.
It's not. He's not. She lied.
Oh,
She
you
lied.
How
lied!
could you lie?
She lied to us.
I should have added Gullible to mine. That was so sad.
She
I was
very
really hyped
subtly-
for Post
she,
Malone,
like-
and you disappointed me.
In about like she said it, and then like very very quietly in half a sentence, she was like, "Yeah, I lied." Anyways, and
Oh,
was
I didn't
like-
hear that.
I almost
No,
didn't catch it myself.
she literally said this is not a Post Malone related story, but and then
I heard-
continued.
I did not hear that.
I can agree with
None of us
Chesh.
could
I
hear.
also thought it
It's
was a Post
because-
Malone related story, and I also thought, man, where's the Post Malone? But I sat quiet.
I think it's because we're sitting too far away. Like May heard her, but
Oh,
May's the
Yeah,
closest.
I heard
It's not
her.
fair.
we have bad
Yeah,
ears.
it's just because Jekz and I are closer to Becca than you guys.
Exactly. I heard the
That makes
Minecraft.
sense. That makes sense. So, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned what the meaning of, or the story behind my name, even though it's just Mia on everything, on like games and everything. It's Crepe Cod, which at the time when I made it in like high school, I think, I was still living in Mass, and I was also going to like this crepe tea house cafe. Oh, a lot. So I was eating a fuck ton of crepes. So that made the first part. But also, I had gone to Cape Cod recently, around that time. And so I took the second half of that, and I put them together and said, wow, that looks like a solid name. I was also listening to Post Malone at the same time.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Don't
The
ask me to
title of
fact
this
check that.
episode is just Post Malone.
I never clocked Crepe Cod as being a Cape Cod reference, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself for that one. I always get compliments on it in game.
Nice.
It is a very nice name.
Mhm.
It flows really really well.
Solid name. 10
Thank
out of
you.
10.
Thank you. My brain cooked for that one.
We still have who? Jekz, Eve, and Chesh.
Yeah.
We're working our way to the middle. Look at us go.
Well, I'll break the pattern and I'll share about mine
Wait,
first.
no, Eve,
All
don't
right.
do it. Don't do it.
I'm actually going to take you on a timeline because I've had 5 different main usernames, potentially more actually, but I'm definitely forgetting some. My first ever one when I was 11 was the Mega Eccentric Girl, which I did get from a generator, and I was cringed out by it for a long time, but now it's got a warm spot in my heart.
Post Malone, let's go.
My second one was Messy Berry, which was my Pop Tropica username, which was randomly generated in Pop Tropica, and I just used it everywhere because I was like,
Real.
this works.
Love
That's
Pop
iconic.
Tropica.
Love Pop Tropica. I was obsessed. And then for a very short while, I was EA Sports because my initials are EAS, and I needed a username for Discord, and I didn't have one.
But you were EA Sports. Oh
I
my
was
God.
EA Sports. You can thank me for all those games that EA Sports
How much did
made.
you sell out for?
Oh god, so much money. I'm so rich now. That's why I can't afford to buy a new headset. Um,
It's because EA won't let you buy a headset.
It's
yeah.
actually DLC headset.
Anyway, and then I switched to Big Eve, and I liked Big Eve. I stuck with Big Eve for a couple of years, and then I started playing like Valorant and League of Legends and Overwatch, and having my real name in my username meant people could call me out by a name when they were hating on me, and I wasn't vibing with that. I was not down with that. That made me really unhappy. Because imagine you're just chilling and somebody's being rude to you. If they're using your username, there's an element of distance there, right? But if they call you out by your first name, it's like, damn. I feel like I'm getting reprimanded by my parents right now. So I put some feelers out to my friends and said, what should I change my name to? And my birthday's in December, and my name is Eve, so we went with Christmas, like Christmas Eve. And that is what I remain to this day, or some variation of.
Also iconic.
That's so nice.
I hear the
so
little
happy.
bunny paws applauding there.
I'm so
you.
happy that you created Christmas Eve.
Yeah, actually, thank
so
you so
I
much for that.
became Santa, and
Yes.
I'm in charge of
Thank you for
Christmas.
creating EA
And you can
Sports.
thank me for your gifts every year. You can thank me for the EA Sports and for Christmas.
I love women in STEM. Made Christmas and EA Sports. Thank you for Sims 4, by the way.
You're so welcome.
I'm so excited to see Project Renee come from you.
I don't know what that is.
Can we get slightly
This is
less
five.
DLC on the games?
No,
Oh, well.
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not in charge anymore, am I? I gave it up for
Oh.
Christmas.
For Christmas.
You
For the sake of Christmas
You can have
worldwide.
one or the other. You can have EA games. You can have Christmas. It's up to you.
You have less
Yeah,
DLC
both, though.
or Christmas.
Either way, you have to spend a ton of money.
True.
Oh lordy.
Alright.
I'll go, I guess. So, Jekster is actually. I have many more, but we'll not talk about those names. They're older. Jekster's the main one I use in Jekz. It's actually my World of Warcraft character
Aw.
I made whack when I got in during the Cataclysm era. It was randomized, and then I flipped letters around. She was
Another
my-
Post Malone name!
Yeah, randomized.
Yes!
She was my shaman, my troll shaman on the Horde side, and I loved her.
I'll that for you. Wait, what era? What era is Cataclysm? Like what year?
Oh god, I don't know. It's so long ago.
Cataclysm.
Wow.
Not you googling it.
Yes. Or my typing. 2010, the year after I graduated. So,
Oh my god, from college or high school?
high school.
Okay.
I'm the old. Yep. But yeah, so it's been with me for quite a while. Holy crap.
Damn,
Slay.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I played WoW for like a year, on and off.
Yeah.
But
I
I couldn't
hardcore.
commit to the money.
That's legit. I hardcore played. We raided. We had a bunch of friends. I met a lot of good friends online. That's what's sad, is about when you quit and then all those friendships are gone. I'm like, I wonder what happened with them.
I have a
Where are
cousin
they
who's
now?
a pro World of Warcraft player.
Dang.
They have pro players. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess like
on
when
a
I think
team.
about it, WoW is a big game, so why not? But it's just thinking about pro World of
Yeah.
Warcraft players.
Well, 'cause, like, they do have the PvP aspect, so the tournament style. But I think
Huh.
it's also, guilds who's the first to complete some dungeon or raid, and yeah.
Okay. So I guess now I have to go.
Mhm. Your
My,
turn.
so mine's a little cringy because mine is from middle school. I never changed it. It was just like Cheshire is such a like solid name by itself that no matter what origin, I can just be like, oh no, it's just the cat, and everybody's gonna be like, okay, cool, awesome.
Mhm.
But mine specifically is from I think the end of my middle school era, and it is based off the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, but not the traditional like folk story. It's actually from like the Alice in Wonderland manga, which I will be sharing with y'all momentarily. It was called
Oh.
Alice in the World of Hearts, and I'm pretty sure it's a dating game, a dating sim game, where you get to romance like the Cheshire Cat or the white hair or the caterpillar. Like there's a bunch of options, but I was super into the Cheshire Cat's design, who's on the bottom left of that picture. I thought he was cool and edgy in like a fun middle schooler way. And so I adopted his name as my name. And everybody was like, oh, well, you act like a Cheshire Cat anyway. Like, you're always up to nefarious stuff, lurking around corners, having a good time, always have a grin on your face. So then I just attributed myself to the Cheshire Cat. And it stuck. All the way till now.
Which one of these is the Cheshire Cat?
Okay, the bottom left, that's pink. His name is actually Boris.
What?
I don't know why his
Boris.
name is Boris.
What the fuck?
Like
this
here,
is-
here,
Here's my cat, Boris.
like that's him. Like that's his full design. He looks so
I mean, I
silly.
get it though.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. No, I'll rant
Oh,
about this. Why the fuck
okay.
would you look at someone like this and go, Boris?
I can't explain. I am not the author nor the artist, but his character design is really freaking cool. So it's
My
stuck.
I'm
favorite
not
part
gonna
about this-
lie, Chesh.
Don't
He's
hate me.
giving Ikuto vibes from Shugokara.
Yeah,
And
he
I love that
is.
man, and I love that man. So you're only like further validating my stance.
He's kind of
I approve.
Uh,
He is
Yep.
serving.
that was my teen heartthrob turned username.
My favorite part about this is that Chesh posted this and went, maybe it was a dating sim game. It's like you as the protagonist and then a rival, and then everyone else is some like super well drawn like Bishoujo guy. Like, what do you mean?
I know, it's because I didn't play the game. I only read the manga, and then after I read it, I was like, wow, that was really good, and then haven't thought about it like all these years until now. And then I
1,
was
2,
looking it
3,
up.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 potential bachelors there.
Just awoken a memory.
And then
within you.
and then you as Alice and then the queen.
Yes.
Well, maybe you can romance the queen too.
Boo, you're in this picture.
Probably not. I don't know
Yeah,
the
for sure.
person on the
It's a very
top.
flattering one though.
And for real.
Alice is holding you.
You know,
Yeah.
Chesh, to be honest,
Okay, Mia.
oof,
I
Bad,
too.
she had to leave. It was so bad she had to leave. It was such a scaldingly hot take. She had to leave the scene before it could
Sorry.
come out of her mouth. Oh my god.
I know your screen name is Cheshire and everything, but it feels weird to
Yep.
say your full government Discord name. I never not call you Chesh.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Where did the abbreviation
Cheshire.
Chesh come from? Like when did it get cut off from Cheshire to Chesh?
When we were all too lazy to type out the last 3 letters.
Real.
Is the next evolution gonna be Che?
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, it's gonna be Che. Honestly, this is the first time. Like this server is the first time the name has ever been shortened. Like every
really?
other time, people would
Really?
just call me Cheshire, like all the time. That's
Well,
just how it was.
The power we
Question.
have.
I don't think I've ever called you Cheshire.
Question for you then. Is this the
Okay.
first like big server that you've been in?
Like big enough where I know pretty much everybody who talks here. Yes.
And you are a frequent flyer. So I
am.
think you are the topic of discussion most of the time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of
What
the
if we just
topic
started
is
calling-
where is Chesh?
Exactly.
Remember when I kept getting Chesh and Jekz mixed up?
We all did.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
At one
still
point-
do.
we didn't help that.
No, we didn't. Like Chex Mix when we had that era. That was a good time when we matched
Oh,
and
yeah.
swapped names. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
What if
good.
we just start calling you Shire?
I mean, you could. I would answer to it. It'd be a little bizarre, but I would answer to it.
Cute though. Shire.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be
I don't
like,
like
who are you
it.
talking to me? Who are you talking to? Me? Is that me that you're referring to? That's what you would say.
As the
Yeah.
resident English person, I feel honor bound to let you know that Cheshire is a county in the United Kingdom.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
You are a
How are you
whole
doing,
Named after
Cheshire?
county.
me. Yeah,
You
they were
created-
named after me. Thank you.
How's
Nice.
that town doing? Does it have a statue of you?
It's not a town, it's
yeah,
a whole county.
No, the county. Is that
They
Cheshire
ha-
County?
Created
have, like,
counties.
9 statues for every life that I have. I
Woo.
haven't kept up with them in the last 5 years, but I think they're doing great because they haven't reached out to me.
9 for every life, so they have like 81.
No,
81
no,
statues.
sorry, no. One for
The
every
entire
life. My
county is
bad.
just covered in her.
Every
You walk
cat
a few feet and you're
in
like,
that
wow, another one, huh?
county- Every cat in that county is named after me. That's a requirement.
The thing is, are they all named Cheshire or are they all named?
They're all
Oh.
named Cheshire. Not you
Wow, you're
releasing my
doxing
government name,
Chesh.
like my
Wow. Is that
further
gonna be
government
bleeped?
name.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah, that's gotta be
know.
bleeped.
I didn't even say
We
your
have to
last
bleep
name
that.
or your middle name.
That's so true. You remember my middle name?
No.
Oh,
Okay. That's what I thought.
I love that
Okay.
Mia's reaction to that is, well, I didn't full dox you. Only partial, you know? It's not that bad.
All right.
I actually got like intensely confused the other day because Chesh, you had swapped your name briefly to like Becca.
yeah,
I
it was Becca
did.
by the
It
overlay.
was like a reminder for Becca, but I got intensely confused because I was just like, I tried to ping you and I was like, why is it pinging why is Becca getting pinged? And then I just sent it anyway.
Yeah, I had a reminder or something, and I felt like the easiest way was for me to just change my name, so I didn't have to remember to remind. It was just every time I was there, it was a reminder.
I
Not
will
there
say, I
often,
think that Becca
so.
got like reminders from 3 separate people that day.
I did
Mhm.
Mhm.
And she
because
did it.
everybody was wanting Chesh to get Chesh's name back.
Yeah. But she did it. She got
I
the
did do it.
overlay.
Go.
All right. So, funny you mentioned dating games. No, okay. So, my next question for you guys is, have you ever considered creating your own video game? And if so, what kind of game would it be? And again, I'll go first. I have, and it is a dating game. I want to do a dating sim. I know there's a lot of dating sims for guys, and it feels like a lot of the dating sims for girls are on mobile. So I would like to have one for PC, specifically for females.
Okay, I want to cut in here. Have you ever played though, Mystic Messenger?
No.
Oh my god.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's my recommendation. I played it. It's wonderful. You should play it.
Please.
Okay.
We already had that
This
era.
feels like
that was-
another eco.
Bring that era back.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It's actually
just-
intensely good, and it's real-time based events.
I always
Oh.
they
grew
call
up.
you. Good.
I always grew up watching one of my like best friends play it, and you know, it kind of felt like that one image of Walter White screaming through the car window.
It's good. It's actually good.
Yeah.
I
I
thought it
tried
was
to
so-
play Mystic Messenger, but they kept bothering me too much, so I deleted
That's
it.
the whole point.
Damn. You said they're too
The whole
funny.
point of the dating sim is that they bother you.
I was like, damn, leave me the fuck alone.
May's just going through the dating sim like, I don't understand why these people keep on texting me. Why is they talking so much?
Wait, now that you said that, I think I did play it for 2 seconds.
And Kimi was also like, damn, stop texting me.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god.
Kimi, when you started your sentence with "I have," I thought you were saying "I have made a dating sim,"
No,
and I was like,
I have
"What?
not.
How have I never heard about
I
this?"
have thought about it.
Can we make this Speedrunners dating sim?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
That sounds.
Do I get to be the
Some of us
protagonist?
are married.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
You know what?
And
I don't think
If our
I don't
love
think Connor
interest
would
can
like
be
that.
women, it's acceptable.
But yeah, that's what I want to do one day. Maybe have a dating sim specifically for women.
I'm downloading Mystic Messenger as we speak, by the way.
No.
Let's
No,
go.
no.
Let's go. I'll do a playthrough with you.
I am a lesbian,
So-
though. I feel like it's worth mentioning. This does not
You will
appeal to my
not. You have
tastes.
one
Amazing.
option.
Oh, there's a woman?
I think.
Yes, there is.
Slay.
Jay-he.
One singular.
Okay.
So then.
It's Jay-he.
You always come up with concepts for games, but I never get past the. Well, what if I made it a game? I think that I've come up with so many that I have forgotten them. But most recently, I was thinking like, man, I really wish there was a competitive game that wasn't so stressful, like
Competitive?
relaxing almost.
A relaxing.
I think if you
competitive-
make anything competitive, it's always going to be stressful.
Well, like, so what if you, like, for example, what if we had like a farming sim, but you had to compete with your friends?
Oh, that
That
could
not
be
make
fun.
stressful?
Stardew Valley.
You
but
know
we
how
all have our own
stressful
farm.
Stardew Valley is already.
It's not
It's
stressful if you
really
have all of.
relaxing.
It's not stressful if you do all the relaxing things and then have your friends focus on certain,
And you make your friends do all the
Responsibilities.
stressful bits.
No,
That's
just
something
certain
I just
Make
said.
fun-
No,
make
I'm
food, go
saying
do all
that.
the fishing.
No, I'm saying that like if everyone has their own responsibility, then you're divvying up the stress.
I think a competitive farming game where you all have your own farm and the focus is on taking time and producing quality, not quantity.
That's what
I
was
think that could
Yeah.
be very relaxing.
Mhm.
That's what I mean.
But it would have to like be a long term, like weeks long
Yeah.
competitive like length of time.
That's the
know.
relaxing aspect.
Like the person with the best
Yeah.
quality produce at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Type thing.
like literally Stardew Valley of friends type thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd play.
Multiplayer,
work.
but you all have your own farm.
Yeah.
It's a neighborhood.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so fun.
Let's do it. Let's make it.
Anybody have programming skills?
Yes.
The bunny above me
Hi.
does.
Nope. I've never seen
I'll go
those end
next.
in my life.
Because I've actually never thought about making a video game, but I guess I have the aspect. I do have friends that do make video games, and they compete in the Ludum Dare, where you literally have 48 hours or like the 84 hours to make a game.
Yeah, I
And
competed in
they've made 3 or 4 games now. And one of my other friends, she's a writer. She is creating a dating sim.
Love
So
Nice.
I've never had the one, but I have the friends that do.
That
I-
means that we have the connections to ask.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
We start Speedrunners Co.
Oh my gosh. Anyone else had video game dreams?
Not dreams, but whenever I was in high school, I took coding courses through an engineering program, and I had to code a version of Pac-Man.
Ooh.
And that killed my want to ever make video games without somebody else to do the coding.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Wait, so what bit of the video game coding, or what, not coding, but like in creating a video game, what would you want to do?
The creative aspect, like the script writing. I really
Mm.
love to write.
That's true. There needs to be, well, it's really, really good if there's a nice story backing the game,
Mm,
like lore and whatnot.
that's why I love Horizon Zero Dawn, because you play through the story. It's not just like gameplay. It's like there's this huge, like sci-fi overarching storyline to it, and it's a mystery, and you uncover it as you go. That's, I think, the best type of game is based around that kind of concept. I have thought about creating a like text-based adventure game before. I was actually inspired by a game I played. I think it must have been in like 2016 or 2017. It's called Birdland, by Brendan, Patrick, and Hennessy, and you can find it at birdland.camp. It's really, I would say it's very much worth a play, and it's you have like, you play through a storyline. You're at a camp. I forget why it's called Birdland. It's been a long time since I played it, but you're at camp, and you build on like different personality aspects. Like, I don't want to say determination. It's like they have really fun names, and I just remember having the most fun and playing it multiple times and feeling good about it every single time. And it's a little bit creepy and it's a little bit exciting, and I don't know. I've always wanted to make a game that makes me feel the way that game made me feel. You know?
Mhm.
Really like the way this looks. I just looked it up, and it's kind of neat. I've never seen something like this.
It's really cool. It's really good.
Anyone else?
So I
Um,
also created my own game, a very rudimentary game. So I have a bachelor's in English with a concentration in professional writing and editing. And as part of the curriculum to get that, I had to take a media writing course. And so one of the assignments we were given was to create a picture-based or text-based game on like a Wix website. So I chose to do like a choose your own adventure type of game, where you chose like, it was I don't know if you can find it anymore, probably not, but it was published on a Wix website at one point in time. Anyway, it was like a medieval RPG, choose your own adventure type of thing, because I love me some medieval fantasy, some Lord of the Rings, some classic fantasy. And like the main storyline was big bad evil guy in a tall tower who needs to be stopped. It was basically the entire plot of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, condensed down into like a game that you play for 10 to 15 minutes.
Love that.
So I
Yeah.
guess on this, because May just opened up a wave of any Quizilla.
I unlocked
Like-
memories.
Yes, you've absolutely unlocked the dating style game through Quizilla, where you take a quiz, and then it
Oh
like
my
was the next
God.
part of the story based off of your reaction on the quiz.
I remember Quizilla.
Yeah, that unlocked a core memory.
Oof.
And what's the one, the famous demon, the Twilight? Was it
The
the
Twilight Demon?
Or was it the Harry Potter?
Voldemort?
Draco Demona something?
Draco Malfoy?
No, hold on. It's like a vampire wizard. It was a weird mashup.
Well, it's definitely not from Twilight or Harry Potter.
Well, I think
I believe.
they tried to do both, is what they tried to do.
Oh my god.
And it was
Okay,
absolutely
you
a
were
Mary. It was a
combining-
Mary Sue insert, absolutely, and
Oh,
that
bless.
got all over the internet. Was the name, and I wish I can remember it. I'm gonna have to Google it. It's gonna take me some time, and I'll get back to you.
Are you talking
Alright.
about that fan fiction?
Yes.
Oh
It's
my
the one that you
god.
showed me the other day.
Oh god, what is
oh my
it?
gosh. Ebony Dementia Raven.
Yes.
Dimension
Like her?
That was
Oh my
Way.
god.
Yeah.
that
oh
was my
gosh,
era.
Hold on. I'll get there. My Mortal.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was my era
Exactly.
of before anything existed for that type of stuff.
Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way.
Yes.
Oh my
You heard it
lord.
First, that was Jekz.
There were some good stories back then, I will say.
Okay. I think I'm the last person to go for this. Okay. So I did in fact make a game back when I was in college for freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I was in the game development club, and every semester, so twice a year, we would have game jams where we would be given a topic and we would have to work with a team to build a game and then present it at the end of the semester. So we had all semester work on it. And in the first year, I was supposed to make a game with the group, but then a lot of stuff fell through, so I never ended up presenting. And then in 2020, I got with a group and we made a game, and the theme for that game was called Something is Missing. That was the theme for the jam. And we decided to approach it as a 2D platformer puzzle game where you have the start and the end, but you have to make the pathway to get there while avoiding obstacles and enemies and collecting the necessary items to progress. And it was called Hollow Descent, and it was a little pumpkin guy, and you're in a tower and you're climbing a tower. So common enemies you'll face are bats and rats and like mysterious hooded figures. You had a merchant involved in that game. It was very rudimentary, but that was the concept. And we had one person tasked with coding, and then I was tasked with the level design itself. So the bulk of my work was me sketching stuff out on paper, presenting it to him, us going in the code and putting it in the game, and then tweaking it until we could like complete the game. And I'll link it because it's on itch.io. I'm pretty sure it's free. But we ended up
Yeah.
winning that game jam. So it was my first and only game jam I ever completed and also won.
Whoa.
Very cool
That
for
was-
me, by the way.
That's so cool.
It
Yeah.
was an awesome experience, and I have a little badge and a special tag in the Discord server.
100%
so
on my
hard.
Josh.
Thank you.
Nice.
Can we
This is
But-
my
Chesh
role as
wins.
Kimi
Chesh
Asks.
wins this question.
Especially because you've actually made a game. But you know,
Yeah.
honestly, I have a real question to ask you.
Uh-huh.
What about your scratch games?
Oh, I have so many of those from when I was in high school. Like, I loved coding. In middle school, I was in a robotics club, and that's how I fell in love with coding. Absolutely
was
love
also in
designing
robotics.
stuff to do things. I don't like the hardware aspect where I have to put stuff together. Not that I can't do it, but of the two, I prefer the software design. So in middle school, I did a lot of robotics competitions with like the Lego Mindstorms, I think is what they called those robotics kits. And then when I was in high school, I took like Java and Python classes. And we were programming in Scratch, which is a block-based coding system. So instead of writing lines out, you instead have like a UI that has it grouped into blocks, like move such and such space or rotate PNG this way, and you connect them together to build a game. I have a bunch of Scratch games on there. I have to find my login because that was back in middle school, so 7+ years ago. But I have at least 3 or 4. I have a dating sim one actually.
Oh my gosh.
With Yuri on Ice
Sims.
characters, because you're supposed to date like Victor Nikiforov in that one. So only one person, but it is a dating sim.
Mhm.
So
what I'm
educated.
hearing is Chesh
But-
can code the robot, and I build the robot.
Yes, I can.
And then we take over the world.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Her
But I
saying
guess-
robotics unlocked where I went to the robotics world champion.
Oh
one
no,
night.
the robot.
Me too.
She's really calling in her. Yeah.
Her saying that unlocked the robot in Becca. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Dude, her sleeper agent was activated.
You are
Try
you are
again.
robotic
Woke
a
my
bit right
sleeper
now,
agent.
Becca.
Try again.
It reminded me that I went to the robotics world champions whenever it was close to me. Our team didn't place enough to go, but we got to go because we were close enough as a school to take it as a like class trip.
But the experience is so cool
It
because
was
you're just
so
surrounded
awesome.
by other teams doing robotics. And even if you don't win, it's just watching people do the same stuff you like and then talking with them about how cool it is and how they make it work and tweaks to their program. It's just an
And
experience. I love
and I
it.
met people from all over the world because like they brought people in from everywhere, and it was a really cool experience.
That's awesome. I have to show you the robot like wrestling that I watch on occasion. It's not like real wrestling like with people. It's people build robots and they fight each other to the death in a ring.
Have you
Oh,
have
I've
you
seen
seen
that
the
one.
knife videos?
The which videos?
The knife robot videos where they attach a bunch of knives to
Oh
the
my gosh.
robots
Oh, I
and fight to the
definitely
death.
have. Oh, I definitely have. Those are funny. Those are hilarious. We'll have to talk about it later.
For
But
sure.
I guess to answer the broad question of what kind of game I would make if I just had my own creative liberty to make a game, I am a really big fan of either procedurally generated games with lots of replayability, so any kind of platformer like that, or games with a heavy like NPC animal entity interaction within the game. So any game where like the enemies have AI where they don't just interact with you the player but they also interact with the world around them, and that's like one of the hazards that you have to navigate. So back during episode 1 when I talked about Rain World, that's one of the main key features is that you're a little slug cat, right? You eat veggies and occasionally meat, but you're on the bottom of the food chain. And it's a survival game where the bulk of the game is no dialogue and you're just exploring the world, and you have to encounter like big lizards that eat you but also eat each other and also get eaten by other bigger entities that you learn about later through just exploring the world. And my
Mhm.
favorite part of game play is game exploration. I love open world games where I get to just walk around and encounter
Mm.
stuff and sit down and just appreciate the game.
Mhm.
So I would definitely love to build like a nature intensive game like that where it's not just you playing the game with an objective but also you appreciating the details of the game environment and the game creatures and the entities that are there.
Mhm.
I would play.
Specifically honing in on the procedurally generated, I cannot wait to start Pokemon Mystery Dungeon with you.
I'm excited. You being hyped gets me hyped.
Small plug for an incoming series coming
Yes.
soon, TM. We will hopefully be playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and I swear I'm not addicted to Pokemon. But also, Chesh thought that she was last, but surprise, there's me.
Mhm.
Gosh.
So I, similar to Chesh, have a little bit of experience in Scratch. That was also back in middle school. Did not make it super far in Scratch. It was interesting. I just didn't have a good eye for like what specifically I wanted to create. I don't feel like I'm the most creative person on my own. Like I know what I would like to play, but I don't know how to actually like properly get it implemented. Don't know how to draw the art. Don't know how to kind of craft the story. And so where I kind of come in with game creation is much less the actual ideas part and much more the actual implementation part. I've been on a couple of game design teams with different groups of friends and also a little bit during school. I would say that we made one successful game that actually got slightly commercialized, but it was in a museum. It was like a museum game for like little kids to play. And I don't actually know if it actually like I don't know if it got made it to the museum itself. I have no idea. We finished it and we submitted it and they were happy with it. But I have no idea if they actually used it or not. Because like everyone graduated and then we all just left. So yeah. And then my friend groups, I think the biggest issue with a lot of them is that a lot of my friends are incredibly artistically focused, which is perfectly fine. But they have very, very, very grandiose views and like visions for what they want. And so what we end up with is a view that I can't like that the programmers can't quite bring out from the artists. Like the artists don't know how to explain like this and that mechanic. And then it ends up being too grand, and then we can't finish it because it's way too big of a project. And it's also supposed to be like a passion project. And then people just don't have time, and then the project doesn't get finished. So
Yeah.
if I were to specifically try and make a game for myself, it would probably be an unlicensed, non-commercially based pixel Pokemon mystery dungeon, because they have not made a pixelized mystery dungeon game in quite some time, and I honestly kind of don't like the 3D models that they've been throwing around as much as I liked the pixelized ones that they used to have.
Hmm.
And I don't like Pokemon that much, he says. But that's a good concept.
I'm down to also help just like develop games. I have led a few teams, not to a huge amount of success, but I have led some teams, and I have decent confidence in my own coding abilities.
Noted. I will ally with you at some point when I decide.
Yay!
I think together we have a decent set of skills. Like we have a few people who will concentrate on the more creative aspect, some people who have more of the practical skills.
I think
Like,
we might actually have every element that we need.
Yeah.
We'd make a game.
I can market your idea.
Let's go.
Oh my
We
God.
actually have every element.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Let's make a game.
Alright. Catch us
Fuck
in
the
5
podcast.
years.
Doing something else.
The third podcast is just going to be us like designing the game. Actually, it's our first
don't worry,
official
guys.
meeting.
I just got the login for my Scratch account, so we can do it on Scratch.
Oh my God, not Scratch! No.
Literally, the name for my Scratch account is Otome Makers 2016. If that tells you anything about the
Amazing.
intent of this Scratch account.
Wait, before we go on, I want to very briefly, maybe you can edit this back. I don't know. I wanted to bring up that 50% of us are actually Post Malone involved for our gamer tags.
Oh my gosh. Well,
So
I feel
going
like
down the
we've made that
line-
definition too
Oh.
broad.
Going down
Only
the line,
one-
no. Going down the line, Becca was no. May was yes.
Wait. Upon
What?
further reflection, I was in my Post Malone listening era, so he
Oh my
could
God.
have
Okay, Becca's a
been a
yes.
part.
May's a yes. Jekz is a no. Eve is a yes. Chesh is a no. Mia's a yes. I'm a no. And Kimi's a yes. So we have 5 yeses and 3 nos.
Fantastic.
I did
Was-
not mention Post Malone in my statement.
So we have a
You
liar.
mentioned randomization.
Mhm.
Randomization
Broad
does
definition.
not-
Post Malone created
All right.
randomization.
Then we're 4 and
He-
4.
He created generators.
Then we're 4 and 4. If Eve's a no and Becca's a yes, then we're 4 and 4.
Wow, what a revelation. Thank you, Post Malone, for our usernames.
I can't wait
Thank
to
you,
let him
Post
know in
Malone.
his DMs, and then they get ignored because his marketing team says no, thank you.
All right. So my next question is, what's the most frustrating level or mission or, anything like that you've ever played in a game? And my answer is, the one thing I remember struggling a lot with, and I think a lot of people struggled with this too, was Pokemon. Gold and Silver. The third gym leader, her name was Whitney. Her battle is so hard, especially when you're like 8 years old and you don't realize what's happening.
Who did you choose as your starter?
Probably Chikorita. I really like Chikorita.
I see.
But it's so hard because she has this Pokemon named Milk Tank, and they know a move called Rollout. And what that move does is after each turn, it does more and more damage. So after like 3 rollouts, she just sweeps your team, one-shots everything. And I remember as a kid being so frustrated and having to redo the battle over and over again. And yeah, that was not pleasant. I don't know if I cried, but I feel like I probably would have cried.
Felt real.
I wonder if you even get access to fighting type Pokemon before that. I feel like you don't.
Would it make it easier?
It would. Because Miltank's normal typing, which nothing is super effective against normal typing except for fighting type. But fighting type's a little bit hard to pick up at the start of games.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2. Because I know not everybody relates to Splatoon, but I was talking about it with you, Chesh. that the Octo expansion to Splatoon 2, the later missions in that are so hard. They are a pain to deal with because you have to like stick it out and live for as long as you can.
Oh,
That being my
that
first one.
level was trashed in Twitter. Everybody was complaining about the one where you have to survive for 45 seconds on like a 5x5 platform, and there's 9 different gunners shooting at you, and you have no weapon available.
Yeah, that I was doing that while also juggling work. So there'd be some times where I'd be like halfway into it, have to leave, come back, and then like continue with the pace of the game, and that was such a struggle.
That.
And then
Yeah.
I did. I couldn't allow myself to not beat it. That or I just didn't have enough. Like I just had nothing better to do. That and also fighting Thunderblight Ganon in Breath of the Wild was a struggle for me.
You know what? That was a struggle for me too.
I quite literally I needed to. I went over to my friend's house to help me out with it. Like we had it on the TV. I would play for a bit and I'd switch the controller over to her to some of the quick time events.
Yeah.
So that she could help me out.
I think
Was that just the end of Breath of the Wild, or is that the
No.
Master Sword quest stuff?
It's one of the. I mean, I guess it's.
one of the Guardians.
I wouldn't say a subplot. Yeah, it's the Guardians are like the secondary bosses that you need to fight in order to get to the end game boss.
Oh, gotcha.
I think I struggled with that one because I didn't realize you needed to like shock them with the metal stuff, and so I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
See, I don't think I actually did that. I don't think I shocked them. I think I just brute forced it and then tried to use quick time and parry events.
Mm.
But I don't remember. I just remembered not liking it.
Mm-hmm. Boo.
Okay.
Oh, I will say, for me, by far, the hardest fight I have ever been involved with, and no one's gonna relate to this. There was an Infinity Blade fight.
Oh no.
Hold on. For context,
Oh,
Infinity
God.
Blade has been Boo's hyperfixation for months now.
I've been going at it for the past 2.5 years, and I'm finally taking a break. The first year went by, and then I lost my save file, so I lost everything from the first year. The second year, I caught up to that, and then the third year, I expanded to like a slightly different game, and then I cleared a bunch of challenges. One of those challenges happened recently, and it's essentially a skill fight where you have to do every single action perfectly for about 10 minutes, give or take. No, not a single missed input. And you're talking like taps, dodges, slashes, like it's a mobile game. So you're doing this all just with your fingers. But like the timing, the balancing of certain mechanics, it's just a whole thing. And I finished the fight with less than 1% health. Like, if the fight had gone even a second longer, I would have lost. And I was like literally shaking by the end of it. But on a more relatable note, that's actually on my YouTube. But on a more relatable note, I struggled so much, and I don't know why, but I struggled so much against N and his Sigilyph in Generation 5. Pokemon Black and White, like the normal version, not Black 2 White 2, but in the normal version, there is a scene very, very early on. I want to say it's like between like the second and third gym or something like that. Maybe it's the first and second. But there's a scene where you go to the circus and you board a Ferris wheel. And I distinctly remember that Ferris wheel because you like go around the Ferris wheel and N starts talking to you and you're like, you're just chilling. And then halfway through the conversation, you like kind of realize like, oh my God, N's the bad guy. Like we're going to have to fight. Then you reach the end of the Ferris wheel and then you step off and N's just like, join me. And you're like, no, I'm good. And then he's like, all right, well, I have to put you down now. And he like fights you. And his Sigilyph, I do not understand for the life of me what typing it was or how to like do anything to that guy. He somehow boosted every single one of his stats to like +6 and was just like repeat KOing my team. But then I only could deal like 5% damage to him per move. And like, yes, I had a Snivy, and I know that Snivy is like not the best against Sigilyph, but I was just struggling so much. I think Sigilyph, I finally figured out the typing for Sigilyph. It's like Psychic Flying or something like that. But I lost that fight so many times, and we were on the middle of a road trip, and I had to restart the fight so many times, and the worst part about it was that every single time you restart the fight, or like there were even times where I literally just like I lost and I like didn't restart my game. I just like kept on playing. Every single time you go back to that fight, which is required to progress, you have to go through the Ferris wheel thing. The whole Ferris wheel ride, which is like a 2.5 minute ordeal. And I just got inconsolably upset. I was like mashing H, like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to fight you anymore. I think I quit.
He put you down for real.
He crushed me. And then later eventually I got past him, and like I caught my own Sigilyph, and I was like, this is the most busted Pokemon in the world. I took my Sigilyph and I fought someone with it, and it got one shot. Like, it was a higher level too, and I was like, what? Like, that's not fair. And Sigilyph was so good. Why is mine just like not able to do it?
It's always like that.
It was traumatic.
Oh no.
The game was just rubbing salt into your wound by basically making you go through all that ordeal over and over, that 3-minute prelude to the.
It was literally just mashing I wanted to be out of that cutscene so badly. Like, I would stare out the window because we were driving. I would stare out the window and I would just seethe. I was just like, ugh. Like, and it was also draining my battery.
Oh,
anyway,
I have a game on par with that. I feel that pain. Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh god.
The Riku fight, Riku and Ansem, the people that play it. So I actually got lucky and beat it the first time. Don't know how. Amazing. Beat the boss fight. Well, you get to play a Heartless afterwards, like one of the like creatures. And so like I love that. And then my brother wanted to play, so I just gave him the control, and he's running around as Heartless. He didn't save. So the next time I go to play, I can't beat him. And there's memes of it because you just hear Sora, "You're not taking Kyrie's heart," 50,000 times because I can't beat it again.
That would make me livid. Like, you already beat it once, and then the fact you can't beat it only makes you angry at yourself. Like, why is this so difficult every other time I fight?
And then I just love it when you get to the point you're just also saying it and mocking it with along the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
I feel like there's so many parts like that in Kingdom Hearts 1
Mm-hmm.
where you beat it the first time you do it, and then something happens and you cannot beat it again for the life of you.
The second one where you have to beat Sephiroth, did not know he scales with you along the game, so I said, no, I'll just max the game and then go fight him. That was absolutely the wrong choice.
Oh, that must have been humbling.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is he the final boss of that one?
Well, he's like a special boss. You don't have to beat him. He's just a side story.
No, so you did it because you wanted the clout.
Yeah.
And then you were like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe the clout, maybe the clout's too much. That's funny.
Me getting stuck in the belly of the fucking whale.
Oh
in the
no.
first one.
Yep.
I'm like, I hate it here.
So I don't know if anyone's played Fable, like the Fable game series.
I wanted to.
But in Fable 2, there's this part of the game called the Crucible, where you have to essentially ascend a tower by fighting enemies on each floor of the tower. And it's 8 floors, so 8 rounds. I like breezed through all 7 floors of the tower. And when I got to the 8th floor, you have to fight a rock troll. And I don't know why. I could beat the force troll easy, which came earlier in the game. Something about this rock troll, like, was really fucking me up. And I spent an entire year trying to beat this rock troll. And I just essentially stopped playing the game because I couldn't beat the rock troll.
Wait, a whole year in real life?
Yes, in real life.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
It'd be like that.
So yeah, maybe once my dad says, "Here, you can have the Xbox 360 again," I'll play it.
That would haunt me just a little bit.
We'll all watch. We'll all
Yeah.
emotionally support you.
Oh my god, please don't watch.
You got it. You got it. You've
You know what?
aged. You've evolved. Like you can do this.
Okay, we
That's
won't
so
watch,
true.
but we'll be your motivational crowd. How's that?
We'll be your
Thanks.
cheerleaders. Don't worry. Okay. So
Thank
for
you.
my game, this goes out to Hollow Knight, and it is specifically 3 separate fights in Hollow Knight. And for those who haven't played it, Hollow Knight is a 2D platformer fighting game, but not just fighting game, exploration. I think it's Metroidvania classified, where you're a bug and you're exploring Deep Nest, which is basically the underground. There's probably 9 different areas that you can explore in this game. And every area has at least a minimum of 2 boss fights. And you have to complete them to progress. And they're all very hard. Like, it's just a very hard game. It was the, the Bloodborne games. It was like that difficulty before Bloodborne blew up. And there is one character, her name is Hornet, and she is a deuteragonist. So she is not the protagonist, but she will assist you during your gameplay. But when you meet her for the first time, she's very standoffish. She doesn't trust that you're capable of saving Hollow Nest from the like disease that is spreading rampant through each of these areas. And she fights you for the first time in the second area of the game, Green Path, and she's just testing you. Okay, so I played this fight maybe twice or 3 times, but eventually I beat it. I was like, okay, well, I've proven my worth. And she afterwards is like, okay, I see you. Meet me in this other area later if you wish to like help us. And this second area is up in the cliffside, and you have to go through I think 4 different other areas before you get to her. And I get to her second fight, and I don't know what drugs the developers were on when they made her fight, but it is at least 3 times more difficult than the first one, and I played it at least 50 times before I beat it. Because you need this key fragment piece in the back of the area that you can't get without fighting her. And I spent probably 7 hours consecutively over a 24-hour marathon of this game fighting this secondary fight. And this is when I'm in college, okay? It's me and my bestie at the time. We're locked in. It's hour 9. I'm playing this fight. He's already progressed to the next section of the game. He asked me multiple times, "Hey, do you want me to like help you with this fight?" I said, "No. I need to beat this myself. I cannot let anyone else help me with this fight, or I feel like a fraud because I already beat her the first time. Why can't I beat her the second time?" And then finally on hour 9, after 50 something fights, I finally kill her. And it's this sense of relief, but also I'm just dreading like, well, if she was this bad and I'm only halfway through the game, what else is there in this game that's gonna whoop my ass? And there were 2 more fights. One of them being a bee, which I didn't think it was an optional fight, by the way. That one took me probably 3 hours. And then at the end of the game, you can complete a pantheon, which is basically a series of boss fights grouped into one session. So you can either choose to play this pantheon with all of your equipment available, so all your sword upgrades, all of your summoning capabilities, charms that help you with the game, or you can play it with absolutely no upgrades and the bosses being on the hardest like version of themselves. And that's the version I played because I wanted to feel superior in this game. And that was a very humbling experience. I did not, in fact, get through that pantheon. And there's 3 of them. I only got through the first one. I couldn't beat the second one, and I still haven't to this day. And the last time I played this game was in 2022. For any context of how long it's been since I've touched this game and tried to beat it.
You've just been taking an extended hiatus. I can't wait for Chesh's new series.
Sometimes I want to go play the game again, and then I'm reminded of like the trauma of playing that game, and then I like set the controller down and I reconsider.
It's just such an aesthetically pleasing game. It really
is absolutely gorgeous, and the soundtrack is fantastic. I have it saved on Spotify. I listen to it on occasion. Absolutely 10 out of 10 game would recommend. But if like hard games are not your tea, you won't enjoy the game. Like it'll ruin your experience playing the game
This whole thing has me think that it's a good thing that we probably don't play Elden Ring.
Sometimes I
I
think
have
about
Elden
it.
Ring.
How far are you in Elden Ring?
I did not even get past the first area.
Oh, I don't think you're
Wait, isn't
supposed to
Elden
fight
Ring
that
multiplayer?
person.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I thought it was
I don't know.
vaguely multiplayer.
It's multiplayer
is.
in the
The
sense that you
DLC
can,
is, I think.
I think, fight other people.
It's kind of like a
Oh, yeah,
world.
yeah,
You
it
invite
is.
someone to your world.
How many
But
people can you
yet,
invite into your world at a time?
I don't know. I have
think you can
about
have
4 or
4.
5 friends, yeah, that play.
Well, I'm just wondering
on.
what
I'll
if
ask
we
the
all
council.
what if we all just go into the same world and just beat them up? The boss can't kill all of us.
I think it adjusts
Oh no.
based off my friends' comments.
What if we mod that part out?
Oh my gosh. Then you're not
Alright.
playing.
So,
Nah,
What do you
if I play
mean?
Elden Ring again, I'm playing it by myself.
according to the counsel of my husband, who has been replaying Elden Ring, he thinks it's only 1 to 2 other players that can join your world at a time.
Gotcha,
But he
gotcha.
could be wrong.
I'm also reading, and it says that the multiplayer is intended for you to help with boss fights and not for you to actually play the game. Like, you're not meant to explore the game together. You're just meant to assist somebody with a fight and then leave.
Oh, I see. That's kind of the same as Dark Souls.
Wasn't there a guy that straight up got famous? Well, not famous, but he was very well known amongst the Elden Ring community for being there for people that couldn't fight a specific boss. I have to look it up, but he got popular off of it.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's very hard.
Mhm. I think Eve and Becca are the last ones.
I can go.
I also have mine, but you can go.
No, you go first. You go first.
All right. So mine probably more lighthearted than the others. One of the first video games I ever played was Crash Bandicoot whenever I was like 4 or 5, right? So my most frustrating experience with video games is the chase levels in Crash Bandicoot, and I'll send pictures. But they used to give me such severe anxiety because of the feeling of being chased that I'd die the first time and just stop because it was frustrating at like 4 or 5 to try to beat those levels.
That fucking bear is so scary.
That
It's
What
that
is
is
that?
so terrifying. Good God.
I would
Right,
cry.
like that is the shit of nightmares.
Oh my lord!
Wait, is this what made me afraid of being chased in horror games? Holy shit.
It might be. It was my first experience of something chasing me, and I used to have nightmares afterwards that like wolves would chase me off cliffs
Oh.
and shit.
Oh no.
And
don't
upon
blame you.
reflection, I think this might be why.
I could see that.
Might see
Baby
that in my
This is
dreams
like the
tonight.
gamification of like when you turn off the lights and you sprint up the stairs.
That's exactly why. And you're afraid of the dark, and you gotta run away from the thing that you think's chasing you.
You
That's
feel
what's
something
waiting
like
for you.
right on your neck.
Yep.
Don't,
Oh,
don't, don't.
Okay, but have you raced other people? Because I did that with my friends when we were watching one of the Stephen King movies, like Rose Red, the hotel that changes or something. We went down for a drink and went back up, and we literally were just shoving each other trying to get up the stairs.
Oh my God. You don't have to be fast, you just have to be not the slowest.
Yep.
Yeah, you just have to be able to push somebody down first.
Mhm.
Damn.
But also, before we digress from Crash Bandicoot, I just want to say that this picture of the polar bear specifically reminds me of the Dog Island Wii game. I don't know if anyone's played it before.
No, because
But it-
wait.
It's just how big its head looks. Like, look at these dogs that I'm sending to you.
That's
Look.
It reminds me of the Nintendo's McDonald's toys, and I'm going to find. Wait, what were they? They weren't Nintendo's. There was something else with these big fucking.
dude, I
noses.
was about to bring them up.
Were they
I
little
also
pet
remember.
shops?
No, they were not. They were little plushies.
I think it's just called
So
dogs.
They were called the Dog
Yeah,
The dog.
Collection.
Are they inspired
I
by
have a
this
picture. I
game?
have a picture.
I think so. Or the game was
Oh my
inspired by
gosh,
them.
they look like they are. Come on, look at
They
them.
were
The West Highland
Animals
Terrier.
first. Yeah.
These
I
are
remember having the
adorable.
Cocker Spaniel one and loving that shit to death.
I think I might have
Why are
had
his
one of
eyes
these.
bugging out so
I think I had the
bad?
pug.
Be nice to him, all right? He
No,
can't
I'm not.
control.
Look at these other versions, and then the
Oh,
Cocker Spaniel
no.
is just. I feel
They
like its
can't-
eyes are about to pop out of its head.
They can't
I love
control
that
their
one.
eyes.
Okay,
dude.
that was my favorite one.
But I think my favorite's the bull terrier because of the way its face is shaped already. It looks like it's freaking out. Like he's like, "Dude, are you
Cool.
okay?" And the cocker spaniel's just lost.
Cool.
I think I had the West
like the
Highland
beagle.
Terrier.
And the
Oh,
husky.
they're uglier in person. Oh my god.
Oh my
Like,
damn.
I'm
All right.
sorry. I'm
You say
sorry.
that.
It's just,
I
it's
love
just
them.
the eyes. I can't. The eyes make me uncomfortable.
I feel like I'm being watched. Yeah.
They're just little guys.
Like when I told y'all last time, I'm unsettled by eyes. Like this is what I meant. Like this, they're gonna pop out. I want to like put them back in their face.
You want to press it back in? Just
Yeah.
gonna put this
Oh,
back
the
in there.
boxer's really cute. Aw. Okay, maybe that one's cute. I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, you change
And
your
the
mind now?
Chihuahua. I like the Chihuahua.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'm
Okay.
gonna assume that they're inspired by this game, or vice versa. They look identical.
Eve, in the photo that you sent, the very center dog kind of reminds me of the hamster meme.
where,
Yep.
Hamster meme.
where he's on call, like on a FaceTime call. That one?
No.
The
Hold
sad
on,
one?
Yeah, the sad one.
Oh,
Just a little guy.
I'll send more pictures over the course of this podcast because I think they're cute. I would love to play this game with y'all, but it's not multiplayer and it's only on the Wii.
Hmm.
I will go steal my mom's Wii.
I miss my Wii.
My dad still has one.
I still have my Wii.
I don't know what happened to mine.
We traded ours in.
I mainly used my Wii for Naruto video games.
Mine
Understandable.
was solely a just dance Wii.
Mm-hmm.
I use mine for Mario Kart.
I got
was
mine
used-
modded.
Also Super Mario Bros.
I was too
Me too.
poor for a Wii. I always grew up with an off-brand Wii, but I would always go to my cousin's, use his, and then just
Oh.
play Wii Sports Baseball.
Aw.
Our Wii was bought as our parents had been fighting and there's probably a divorce incoming thing.
Oh no.
Damn.
It was the distraction Wii.
Yep.
And
We had Wii Sports and Wii Fit because the
Ah,
school
yes,
nurse had
Wii
told my
Fit.
dad that I needed to lose weight.
Oh my
God,
god.
I
Oh my
remember
God.
being
Damn.
like 10 and the Wii telling me I was overweight and I wasn't.
The fucking obese animation was so out of pocket.
It was.
they were so mean.
It was so mean. God.
Nintendo.
Okay, what I
count
will
your
say
days
though,
for
those
that, by
games
the
were
way.
good.
They were good. I enjoyed them.
Those games were absolutely fantastic.
Just the fat phobia undertones.
Yeah,
aimed at
that was
an
not as
11-year-old
fantastic.
Kid. It was not great.
Oh,
Do you
go ahead.
remember the like meditating game that was like super kind of scary?
With the candle? Yes.
Yeah.
What?
It was about
Scary.
balance.
It was a meditating game where they put you in the dark and they had you focus on a candle while sitting on the Wii Fit board. And it was low key scary.
It was a bit creepy. It
I
was.
don't like that at all.
That sounds like a hostage scenario.
And there were like
Well, you weren't allowed to
footsteps and
move.
sounds in the background and you couldn't move or you
Yeah.
feared it.
Oh.
That's the next Saw theme, actually.
You move, you die.
Yeah, they just put you in a room.
And
They
this
just
was
put you
one of
in
the
a
games
room.
that it was one of the games that like measured your age.
Yeah.
Whack.
I
Like,
think
you
I
put
was
your
I
age
think
in
it's something I
and
was
it
in my
followed?
30s.
Oh no, it guessed your age. That's even worse.
Yeah.
It gave you like a fitness age.
Not the fitness age.
Oh.
You have the
horrible.
body of a 56-year-old.
That's
Oh my god.
One time it told my little sister she had the body of like a 2-year-old.
Huh.
She was like 6. I was like, wow. I think literal babies are playing.
Okay. I don't really have a level that I found it hard to pass because I
because
learned
she's
very
good at video
quickly.
games.
I learned very quickly that A, games are easier if you play them on easy mode, and B, I'm a quitter. I will quit if it's too hard.
So real.
So I don't get stuck because I just leave. But I will say there are certain things that I don't learn from my behavior in video games very often, as has been evidenced by my recent 7 Days to Die gameplay, where I always fall off the ladder because I treat it like a Minecraft ladder and I like sprint to it and jump on it, which does not work in 7 Days to Die. That's why I have a broken leg 100% of the time. I'd be falling off the ladder.
Always.
yeah.
If I don't hear at least one, no, not my leg, from Eve per playthrough, then I haven't played 7 Days to Die.
Dude,
with
every
you.
single time that you play, I always hear, fuck, I broke my leg.
And it's like, girl, again?
Does anyone have a
walking
splint
past the
or a
ladder.
cast?
You'll walk past the ladder and you'll hear crack, and you're like, oh, there goes Eve's legs.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I've tried, guys. I've tried.
On the bright side, because you're always down in the mines, you don't have to jump that much.
True. I can just walk around slowly and break rocks.
Girl, I need you to just stay planted. Hold on to the earth or something.
I'm
God.
gonna have to never leave the pit again. I'm just stay in the pit forever, isolated in the
Oh my
pit.
god.
Bunker dweller.
Well, all right. I have one final question, and I don't know if it's controversial. Not really. It could be.
Can I ask a little? Can I ask you a small question before you ask us this?
Yes.
Is this question also gonna like dig up past traumas for our entire group?
No.
Because that was right now our entire group. I can hear the trauma replaying in everyone's heads.
We are defeated.
Oh, no.
And yet we still stand.
Also, I didn't mean to unlock my trauma with the last one. I thought it was gonna be lighthearted and be like, yeah, I was like 5, and then I dug deeper and was like, oh.
You're like, that's when my parents got a divorce. But man, was I fucking it up and we golf.
Let's go.
No,
Strike.
my little sister took one of those plastic clubs and bashed me over the head when I
What
was
the
younger.
fuck?
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
Wait, actually? Oh
yeah,
my god.
like the little plastic golf sets. My younger sister is 7 years younger, and she was mad that I was staying up later, and she took the plastic golf club and like beat me with it until it cracked in the middle.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
She went
you
plop,
okay?
right?
Oh, I'm fine
A
now.
little bit dented.
I was crying in the fetal position while a fucking 3-year-old beat me up, but yeah, I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
That reminds me vaguely of those ASMRs that we played in the voice
Oh
chat
my
the other day.
God.
Oh my
It does.
gosh.
It
Remember.
does.
All right. So, the last one, maybe traumatic for your wallet.
Oh my god.
What's your opinion on microtransactions and DLC in games? And do you
Girl,
think
how can you ask me this after I just paid $100 for Don't Starve Together skins?
and do you think they enhance or detract from the gaming experience?
Okay, I want to go before you actually.
Okay.
I have lots of opinions on this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, we're here for a deep
We're
dive.
buckling in. Okay. I think that DLCs started from a good spot. And I think they evolved into a very bad spot. Like DLCs used to be a like, hey, we've developed this game, but there's been such a good community response to this that we're going to continue to develop a little bit more. And we would like to be paid for that effort, right?
Mhm.
But we'd like to we've heard the community's feedback. You guys love the game. You guys want a little bit more. So we're going to make a little bit more. And then you can get this if you want. And it's optional, right? It has now evolved into, hey, let's milk these people for all they're worth. And also like, hey, we're going to lock achievements behind this so that now they feel like they have to get this DLC. Or, hey, we're going to release a completely just like not finished game or not playable game
Sims.
and just power creep in like random DLC stuff. Like a lot of DLC is like nowadays is like extra consumables or like extra bonus items, or like super powerful perks that you just can't get otherwise. And it makes the games feel like basically almost unplayable without that content. I will say one caveat is cosmetics and loot boxes, which is a whole nother issue. That's a gotcha issue. I feel like a lot of the microtransactions are rooted very, very heavily in like gotcha and or gambling addiction. That's a whole separate issue. I guess it's fine-ish, because technically you're not like forced to. But if you want nice things for your characters that you main, like me and May on Wendy and Don't Starve Together, then you do have to like. It feels like you almost have to shell out a little bit of money for it.
Okay, no, it does not, because I made that choice of my own free will.
Okay, I didn't want to like attack you and be like, "Oh, this is completely optional," and then you're just sitting over there like, like.
I
I'm sorry.
literally have a shopping addiction, boo.
It does feel nice to be able to show your love for certain characters via microtransactions. I think that having DLC as a whole has unfortunately kind of like given especially video game developers a lot of these backdoors of like, oh well, like we'll just release the game and it doesn't matter that it's not completely done, or it doesn't matter that there's like no end game, because we'll just release that in a DLC and people will be forced to buy it. Pokemon in recent years, okay, maybe I do have a Pokemon addiction, I don't know. Pokemon in recent years has been a huge proponent of this because in Sword and Shield, as well as Scarlet and Violet, the DLCs for those two respective games have been just as much as the actual games themselves. So they've literally doubled the price.
I'm so mad about that.
And two, they've contained incredibly powerful mechanics to like supplement them. So you really are missing out if you're not getting the DLC, which feels incredibly bad from like a player perspective. Because in Sword and Shield, you have Dynamax Adventures, which is where you can catch literally every single legendary Pokemon from Gens 1 to 7. Every single one of them. And then you can also completely reset your EVs very, very easily, which is relatively hard to do unless you're in Sword and Shield. Unless you have the DLC. They did the same thing in Scarlet and Violet. And then they also added a bunch of a bunch of mythical Pokemon, which have not historically been easy to catch. They've usually actually been locked behind events. But for instance, I've heard that you can get like a Meloetta in one of the DLCs, and also a bunch of legendaries as well. So it just feels really bad that I think a lot of devs have now, like, the meta for DLC has now shifted from like, oh, this is like just not something that we plan to have, but the community response was so good. Now it's shifted towards, okay, well, we're gonna have this in the main game, and then that in the like DLC. Like everyone is releasing games now with the expressed intent of also charging more for DLC, which feels incredibly bad to not have. I think that's the problem.
I don't know. I am like in the middle of, is it good or bad? I feel like it's kind of in between, because the prices for a lot of video games haven't really changed since like the mid 2000s, and I feel like, the developers should definitely get paid for the more work they've been doing since like the programs have enhanced and stuff. But I'm also okay, like, if they were gonna charge $100 for a game and it was completely finished, I'd be like, okay, bet, I'll do it. So it's kind of like that in between of like some developers are like, we're gonna give you a unfinished product and then we're gonna make you pay for such and such for it to be, feel like it's finished. And like, yeah, they're trying to get money back, but I don't know. I'm very on the fence about this.
See, I agree with a lot of points that you, Boo, and Kimi made, because like I can definitely see it being frustrating to have to purchase shit in order to progress farther into a game, but then at the same time, like, sometimes it does aid your experience in the game, and or like, I don't know, personally with me, if you like the game and investing money into it gives you joy, like skins, why not? But personally, my rule is that, like, if the game's already free and it's been free, and or no, if I've paid for the game and I never had to pay for anything within it beforehand, and all of a sudden it switches over to a kind of thing where you have the option to pay for skins or pay for other additional stuff to your game, I'm not investing into that. I'm too poor for that.
It's okay. You can say Overwatch.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I was like, this is an Overwatch.
That's awfully specific, that last bit.
Well, okay, that's just because, like, I feel like it could also go for Valorant too, partially. And I hate to be that kind of person that was into Valorant and spent a lot of money on skins.
Speak your truth,
But
Mia.
if it gives you joy, go for it. But like Boo said, it's kind of frustrating to play gacha games and kind of feed into it, and all of a sudden you're out like so much money on one game.
Speaking of gacha games, Zenless Zone Zero is coming out soon.
Can't wait for that.
Don't wail out, guys. Just a reminder, do not wail out.
And
Also-
yeah, that's her. Oh, sorry, Boo.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, also, little side note, I do think that the, like, spend money on it if it makes you happy I agree with that, but it does have its limitations. The specific reason why I bring that up is because League of Legends just released a $450 RA skin, and
Mhm.
lots of people are actually buying it.
Is
I
it
think
just a skin?
it's just
No.
a skin.
Ugh.
Well,
it doesn't come with
it's
any
5 skins, isn't it?
additional like honor portrait, like nothing.
No, it came with the portrait. It's like the portrait, the signed portrait, flare, the skin, the chroma. I mean, not that I'm
It's
like
not worth
I'm not
Yeah, it's
trying to
not worth
protect it.
it.
It's still not worth it.
At the
'Cause
end of
I
the
even
day,
bought that.
for the
Like, yeah.
things that for the things that matter in the game, it's the skin. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
$50.
I feel like it also depends on how much you actually see the skin too. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this. Personally, I feel like league skins aren't too worth it.
Like
Considering that
collectively?
I think it depends. Like especially with the fucking $450 skin. I feel like that's not worth it because you're not seeing that much of it. Sure, you see it. Yes, it's in front of you, but you're seeing like a couple pixels of it.
Mhm.
You know?
Hell,
And,
even
like-
watch $25 skins. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know if I can justify. Like, I make enough money where I could just spend it and not think about it. But if you think about it long enough, you're like, why am I spending $25 on what would amount to basically a retexture and a few couple of little knickknacks? Why can't it be $10?
Exactly.
Those together can have $5 skins where they give me like 7 different skins for the same character. I feel like I can ask for better pricing.
Okay, I will
especially
say for
from better quality like gaming studios.
Overwatch, another thing that confuses me a little bit though is that it's a first-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't get to see your
Yeah, exactly.
character's skin.
Exactly. So the thing is that like if you have a weapon or like sometimes your weapon will be changed to, follow the theme of the skin, but
Mhm.
at the same time you don't see the rest of you. They'll have like little like audio cues that are slightly different depending on how, special of a skin it is. But, again, similar to like League, I feel like you don't see much of it to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Legit.
That's fair. I think for myself personally, especially when you're younger and you have to budget your money accordingly, like when you don't make money, either you make it through like random chores or other one-offs, or your parents like give you an allowance or whatever, and you have to, budget, prioritize your money for these games. My personal philosophy when I was growing up was that one, I wouldn't buy any DLC that wasn't add-on game content. So any cosmetic DLC, I wouldn't buy it. I don't care enough for it. It doesn't like enhance my game and give me more playtime. It's just there. And then my second opinion was always I would only buy a DLC if the price I paid is the amount of hours of replayability I could get. So if it's a $15 DLC, I expect to be playing the game for at least 15 more hours. If it's 25 hours, so on and so forth. And that kind of kept me in check for like prioritizing what was a good quality DLC for a game that I played. And would I realistically invest that much time into that game after I buy the DLC, or am I going to buy it and drop it after 2 hours because I didn't really care that much?
That's a good rule.
And I still kind of hold it to this day. Like I still don't really buy cosmetic. I can do it now and I don't feel bad when I do it, but I typically subscribe to either indie games where when I buy the game, I'm done. I don't have a subscription. I don't have a DLC to buy. I don't have anything else I have to buy. I just play the game and I own it. Or I'll play another game and I'll invest in like a story mode expansion DLC, like the Monster Hunter Iceborne DLC, which gave me a whole new environment and at least 5 different monsters I could play and a bunch of different missions, which was definitely bang for your buck when I paid, I think, $20 for it.
One of my college friends had the same rule for buying shoes. So if she would wear them 5 times, she would pay £5. If she would wear them 25 times, she could pay £25. So she did a lot of thrifting, and she used to work out, like, how many times am I going to wear this item? Is it worth it to buy it? I think it's a good rule in general.
Mhm.
Unless it's food.
Well, food is another thing, isn't it? Because it's gone as soon as you eat it.
Yep.
If you're
Well,
gonna
you
eat
could-
it 25 times, then you pay $25 for it.
Well, you could apply it to recipes. Like, how often are you going to make a recipe, and are you putting too much work into it, and is it more
Cost efficient.
costly? Yeah.
I mean, you
Or how
could.
much leftovers will I get out of this? Is it worth making this meal that takes 3 hours to eat it for
Mhm.
one meal?
Sometimes it is.
I really enjoy cooking, so I don't put time to it.
To each
Different
their
strokes for
own.
different folks.
Yeah,
Exactly, Chesh. We're on the same page.
exactly. We're on the same wavelength. I mean, you can apply it to DLCs too.
But
For sure.
I don't like buying DLC for games unless it's a free game and it adds to it. So like I'm okay with like battle passes and stuff. But like if I have to pay $30 for a game or $60 for a game and then you offer me like a $20 skin to buy for a singular game, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it.
Agreed.
It seems silly, but like The Sims is really notorious for giving you part of something and then releasing another DLC that is another part of that something. And it's been, what, 7-8 years with The Sims 4, and we're still getting stuff like that. Where, like, the Wedding Stories DLC came out, and it was completely bugged out and didn't work, and it still doesn't work to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave us, like, Cats and Dogs, finally, that should have just been a part of the base game, but they gave us a Cats and Dogs expansion. And then they added My First Pet stuff as another expansion. I think
And
it's
adding-
really...
Oh, okay. I'll ask you. And so out of curiosity, as somebody who doesn't play The Sims like at all, I've watched people play Sims, but I don't play it myself. Do they give you guys discounts on your CC, on your DLC? Is that ever a thing?
There are, like, sales that happen,
Yeah.
and you can bundle them, but it's still an outrageous price. So, like, a regular expansion pack for The Sims that adds, like, a world and, like, a new-ish mechanic is $40.
Mhm.
And then
Sorry,
the one
40?
underneath that, 40. 40.
How much would it be to buy the entire Sims? Like,
I think it's
Currently,
free.
about $2,000.
Thousands.
Oh, the DLC.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's $2,000. Yeah,
now.
no, it's free.
It wasn't free when I got it.
Now
It's free
thank
now.
God.
Wait, you paid before? Was
Yeah,
it
it
Yeah,
used to
it,
be,
yeah.
it
like,
wasn't always a free
$30.
game.
Yeah.
It's only like
released.
relatively recently that it's a free game.
They gave us, in return for us buying the game previously, they gave us a free stuff pack, I think,
hmm
which is a $14 purchase.
So it's not even exclusive to people who owned the game previously.
Mm-hmm.
No,
What?
if you owned the game previously before they made it free, if you had it in your library, they gave you the free stuff pack. If you
Right,
didn't already
right.
own it. But if
But
you already
you're-
owned that stuff pack, you didn't get anything for free.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I was thinking that it was a pack that was exclusive, like, to people who own the game, and then they made it free. Like, no one else could get it but them. Because at
Nope.
least that level of exclusivity would be like, okay, well, I don't feel bad that I got this pack. Like, it's not really
it's like a supporter pack.
worth it,
I will
but it's there. But if they're going to make it available to everybody else to buy, I feel like that defeats the purpose.
There's something else that EA does, and other companies do it too, but specifically EA for The Sims does this, and it really, really irritates me. They give like a pre-purchase, like exclusive
Mhm.
for pre-ordering a pack. And if you say you lose your like EA account, right? You lose those pre-order items that you got for pre-ordering. So like this coming up pack, it's like a bed, a makeup item, and something else. But you lose those items if you lose your game or your account. So you spent all the money and then you have to repurchase everything, but you lose the exclusive items from pre-order. I don't like adding extra pre-order items to things. It should just be a part of the pack that you're selling.
I think Sims is a great example of when people use DLC just to try and make money off as much money as they can off people.
I agree.
Because actually, if you play Sims 4 without any of the added content, it's boring and it gets old really, really quickly
Yeah.
and doesn't feel like a complete game. Even I used to play Sims 3, and Sims 3 had a similar issue, but it was much less pronounced because there was a lot more stuff in the base game. Yeah, and I think I don't like DLC when it's done in the way that Sims 4 does it. I think it's a great game and it's very fun, but it's
It is
model
no longer
for
for the poor
purchases.
people.
It's not, yeah, and it's not a sustainable. It doesn't feel like sustainable gameplay. Like you can't. It's losing some of its replayability unless you have a lot of the new content. But I think that DLC is a good thing in some other situations. And for instance, not to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn again, but Horizon Zero Dawn has a DLC called The Frozen Wilds, and that, aside from being beautiful and wonderful and an incredible storyline, it slots into the main game really, really well. You can buy it with the main game as like a complete edition for like not a lot more money than it would have cost initially now. And for people who will love the game before the DLC came out, I'm not sure how expensive it was, but I think a lot of people found it to be a worthwhile purchase. Because it added, I don't know how, I think it probably added about 12 hours of gameplay onto the game. And it does feel like an enriching of the original story. It's not like detached. It fits in. And it's the same with the Dawnguard DLC for Skyrim. It adds Dawnguard actually I think is an example of DLC that should have been in the original game but wasn't because the ability to make it wasn't there yet. Like, so there's a companion in Dawnguard called Serana, and she is the most fleshed out, fulfilling companion to have in the game. And she's part of the DLC only. You only get her through the DLC. But the ability to make, I don't think they had the scope to make characters with that much depth before they released that DLC, before that period of time. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the Dawnguard DLC is great because it is enmeshed within the original story. Once you add it to your game, it's just like it was always there. And I think that's a great way to do DLC, is just to enrich the experience of the game already. It's not to add completely new features. It's just to add new story, right? New plots for games that already have lots of little subplots going on.
Absolutely.
And then microtransactions, I just think are stupid. I think it makes video game platforms operate like banks, because you buy their currency and then you can't spend it all at once because they never sell it in the amount that the things cost. So like I always have like 125 credits sat in any one of my things if I've bought skins. And not only does it mean that that's money that you've effectively lost if you don't spend it, I think it also does the psychological thing of making you think, well, I can buy this because I already have this many credits, so I don't have to buy as many next time. So you're like more likely to spend again. And I just don't appreciate being manipulated like that by a gaming platform. But I don't think that cosmetics are a bad thing. I think people who want to spend money on them will spend money on them, and people who don't won't. Typically, you know. Yeah. I think it can be annoying when you want something because it's beautiful, and you can't have it because it's expensive and it's not in your budget. But for a free game, I know that's how they make money, you know, off cosmetics. Mm-hmm. So I can't be mad about it.
I think the best kind of microtransactions are like when they allow you to grind very, very small amounts of the premium currency, and then they just, if you want to skip that, then you can buy the premium currency outright.
Yeah, it is very nice when they do that. Overwatch does that. Sorry to bring that up, but that also ties into the point that I was gonna say, that like sometimes it's good when they do a thing where all of the microtransactions go towards a like a donation fund.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
like right now with Overwatch, they brought back Pink Mercy, and all of that's going to breast cancer awareness.
That's cool. They brought it back.
I forget actually that in Overwatch you get some of the creds for free, and that is good. That is a good thing, but I think it's just, I still disagree with that. They should just give you stuff that you should work towards goals, and then they should give you the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, They did kind of have a thing before where they would have like weekly challenges that could get you the currency that typically you would have to pay for, and then they took it away, and I wasn't happy about it. I'm sure Chesh knows that I wasn't happy about it, but they recently they also updated the battle pass so that you can get bits of currency through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On top of that, created a third currency in the game for some
They have
reason.
4 currencies.
mythic
in the game. I don't
prisms?
know if you knew that, but
Wait,
they have
4?
4 currencies in
Because
this
there's
game.
the
Yeah.
competitive creds as well.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, 5 because they also have the one for when Owl League happens, and that's their own currency.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Oh,
they have
of course
five
it is.
Didn't they
different
just?
currencies. Well, they had, I guess. since
Yeah,
they
I was gonna
haven't used
say.
that. But I just
RIP.
don't understand why we have the original Overwatch 1 currency and they're still pushing for it if we have 3 other currencies that they can, like, condense something. I don't understand why they need so many currencies for this game.
Also,
feel
let me spend real money. Like, don't make me buy your credits to buy something. Let me spend my actual real money. Like, it would be so much simpler.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like at some point they're gonna discontinue the old currency. Like I feel like at some point they're gonna be like, all right, I think this is kind of pointless now. But
But
I'm
you
sure.
can't buy anything new with it. You can only
Yeah.
ever buy anything from Overwatch 1 with the Overwatch 1 currency. It's still in Overwatch 2, and you earn it for some reason, but you can't buy anything new. You can't even convert your currency. I would appreciate if they made a conversion where you could take your old Overwatch 1 currency, and even just for like 2 coins from old Overwatch is equal to 1 new Overwatch currency. I
Mhm.
would love that because then I would just actually invest in, skins and items from the new game instead of complaining all the time and then only buying Overwatch 1 stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Which all of them are recolors for base currency.
I guess that's where Riot kind of, at least they got rid of what I think it used to be called IP influence points. It got converted to their new blue essence at one point. So
I will say I think Riot's done some good stuff where they have a lot of systems in place to give you free skins.
yes.
It might not be the skins that you you specifically want, but then they also have like sales specifically for skins of champions that you play. And then they also have, I mean, they have some minor extra currencies, but for the most part you only have to deal with like 2 currencies,
Yeah, we'll agree with
which
that.
is nice.
Yeah.
Like a free and then a premium currency.
And back on the EA to go with this, because for me, I'm a BioWare player, and
Everyone's
EA
attacking Eve.
bought. I know. Because I think BioWare or EA bought BioWare, and you could tell when the Dragon Age and Mass Effect, you can tell where EA kind of started putting their fingers in and stuff. Because there's a new Dragon Age game coming out, which I'm excited for. But what's sad is that Dragon Age 3, I never finished because they took a DLC boss and made it the primary boss of 3. And so when my character comes up, like you get a preview of your old like Hawk from your Dragon Age 2, and your Hawk's like, yeah, I fought you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. My Hawk never met you because I didn't buy the DLC. Why are you a primary thing, and why is my character suddenly saying this? So it kind of killed it for me.
The immersion.
Yeah. But I'm excited because the way they fixed that with this new DLC is they did use a character from 3 in this new stuff, but they made it to a point where they broke that connection. It's completely new characters and stuff that are meeting him. But he's a world known. But I'm also on the microtransactions. I was a Food Fantasy player, and I spent a lot of money on there.
I remember Food Fantasy.
Yeah, I loved it.
That game was so cute.
It was. I did spend a good chunk. But now I'm on another game. I call it my waifu game. And I've only spent maybe $10, and I've played it for a year and a half or something. And I'm impressed how much I've been able to gain as a free-to-play player with the currency and the skins that are not normally accessible. It's been actually kind of nice.
Actually, that's funny that you mentioned that because for some reason that just unlocked a part of my brain where I remember the first game that I ever complained about having to buy stuff, and it was Club Penguin.
Oh my
because I when I grew up I played Moshi Monsters, okay? I played that.
Yep.
So
And then I played
that.
Animal Jam. And I was a member in that game. You don't have to be. You get a lot of cool perks for being a member, but you can ultimately enjoy that game being a member free. You miss out on some skins, you don't get a cool banner, and you only get 2 animals, and members get, I think, 36. Okay, but you can do a lot with 2 animals. But Club Penguin, I came after the hype died down, and I opened the game. I'm like, I'm so excited to play this game. And then I was like, wow, I can't even play half the mini games because they're member exclusive. I can't buy any of the puffles I want because they're also member exclusive, or these items. And I gave up after 2 hours, guys. 2 hours of playing Club Penguin. I was like, why am I investing time in this? Why were kids hyped for this game? I need my mom's like credit card to have a good time in this game, and I'm not about that life. So I dropped that game. But that was the first instance where I was like, huh, maybe we shouldn't have everything behind a paywall to have a good time.
See, it's unfortunate. I
happens.
grew up loving that game so much and always being so jealous of the people that had like memberships because my fucking dinky little poor ass penguin was rocking whatever free thing they got, and then I would see other people with like these cool jackets and puffles and wigs, and I would be like, man, I wish I was them, but like every single thing that they had was behind a paywall to a certain extent.
Mhm.
That killed my little heart.
Did we all say our grievances about
Mhm.
DLC?
Yep.
Oh, and another thing. Mobile games, like specifically mobile story-based games that make you
Oh
pay
my god, yeah.
for the better option
Mm-hmm.
to grow level with your other person that you're talking to, make me angry. Because they charge so much for the credits to do that.
I will literally go on YouTube sometimes if I'm into the mobile game and just like look up what happens when you pick that option.
Legit.
I love those games, but I hate it being locked behind an option. Just make me buy the game.
Mhm.
Oh wait, like the
That's-
visual novels where you gotta
Yes,
spend like
like-
diamonds for this one
Yes.
like path option. I hate that.
That's
That's why I don't even
I'm-
bother investing in those games. I'm just like, no. As soon as I see that, I'm not playing it. Sorry.
I will play it, and I exploit the ads like crazy, and I just watch all the ads I possibly can. And I log in and get my daily bonuses, and I rack up a bunch of them before I sit down for a playing session.
I think really the ads are exploiting you there, Becca, because they get money from that. That's
You
the
know
point.
what?
That is
They
the
can
point.
do that, and I get my little gems.
Your time is worth more than watching ads on a mobile game.
I don't think Becca
I mean,
actually
Well,
watches
I don't actually
them.
watch them. I sit there and I'll click through. They're like 30-second ads for the 5 gems that you get for it. And then you can do it like 5 times in one sitting, and then 4 hours later you can do it again.
I was gonna say, you got a kid there. You just look at it, and then you also got a kid to pay attention to.
Yeah. Like
Advocate for
Actually,
that.
perfect. Make your kid look at the ads for you.
Oh
my God.
gosh.
maybe not. Some of those ads are wild.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
true. Some of them are. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it when websites have just like really, really explicit ads out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, like, hey.
Mhm.
I
there.
was talking to my dad about this in the car the other day, and I have never once gotten on. We play the same mobile game. It's called Balls. You bounce balls off blocks to
Mhm.
destroy
I
the
love
blocks.
that game.
I think
I
I've
love
seen
it.
that one.
I love that game. I play it all the time when I'm bored. Or when I'm waiting for something, or I'm in like a bus station or whatever. But we were talking about it, and I've never once got a weird ad for that. I only get ads for other games. My dad, however, was telling me about. Was like, those really weird, explicit pornographic ads you get on those games. I was like, no, no, I don't. I don't know about
That's
that,
the
Dad. What
moment.
the hell?
And that's the
Um,
moment when Eve learned about the targeted ads.
Right.
Well,
I
I
was
mean, I
gonna
think it's because of
say-
his
Other
age,
information.
and gender. I think it's his age and gender will be giving him those ads, right?
Mhm.
And then, I mean, I hope it's nothing else.
Eva, hold your hand while I'll tell you this.
Your dad's been on AO3.
No. I mean, I get a lot of ads for pregnancy tests, and it's not relevant to my life at all. So I'm
But-
hoping it's a
Well-
situation like that.
Well, maybe it could technically be tied to your life because you studied midwifery.
That's true. That's actually I watch a lot of. Actually, do you know what? I watch a lot of pregnancy and birth-related content because of the midwifery aspect.
So
Uh
They're
oh. Okay, let's
targeted
stop
at-
talking about it. Let's stop talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All right. You can keep
I
you can
will
keep your image of your dad as it
Yeah.
is now.
Oh my gosh. All right, that's a note to end on. Thank you for answering my questions. I feel very informed by all of you.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Yes, those are
Yeah.
some very good questions.
Thank you so much, Kimi. I love
It's
you.
absolutely
Oh
lovely.
my gosh, I love you too.
And now we get to make you edit to our podcast.
I will say, when this gets uploaded the next day, so technically tomorrow, we will be posting another series, a new series with me and Boo. We're going to be playing Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, wait, hold up. No, I would never. This
Boo has
is.
never touched Pokemon in his life. What are you talking
Was
about?
this my idea? This was my. Oh god, this was my idea, wasn't it?
Hey, Boo. Again, welcome to admitting your addiction.
Eve mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn like 6 times.
And you
Yeah, but I
somehow
only have, like,
mentioned
50 hours in
Pokemon's
it.
15.
Yeah, we'll be
I
playing.
have 50 hours in maybe one Pokemon game.
Oh my gosh.
How many you got in Scarlet and Violet?
I think it might be over 500.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll be playing Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and that will be uploaded tomorrow with this during that time. So please tune in for that if that's something y'all would be interested in.
And if you don't, just drop by for a few minutes. Say hi to Pidge.
But yeah, like and subscribe. That's something. Yeah.
Comment.
Check the
Comment.
links down below for content from a couple of us that also make content on other platforms.
Now, and feel free to comment any questions that you have for us. We may or may not answer them.
Yeah, if there's something like a podcast y'all want to see, like us topics or anything, questions, go ahead, let us know. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.